The following is a special presentation of ABC Sports.
A rivalry that features speed, power, and grace. Three of the finest gymnasts in the world test their limits in Stuttgart. Romania's Daniela Silivas. Svetlana Boginskaya of the Soviet Union. And Brandy Johnson of the United States. Today, the three collide at the World Gymnastics Championships.
Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport.
It's beautiful. He made it. Triple lunge.
You've just seen something that has never happened in world competition before.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
The thrill of victory.
And down the stretch they come. Here's the finish of the Preakness. Sunday silence and easy going. Photo finish. Noses apart.
And the agony of defeat.
Look at him go. Oh, baby. What a terrible fall.
The human drama of athletic competition.
Fly ball deep left field. McGrath is there. It's over. Trumbull wins it.
In our 30th year, this is ABC's Wide World of Sports.
It was in a setting like this that the poet Robert Frost once wrote, "The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep." Today, amidst the rural beauty of southwest Germany, promises will be kept and dreams fulfilled as the world's finest gymnasts get together. Welcome to Stuttgart, West Germany, in the World Gymnastics Championships. Today, the women's individual apparatus finals. Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Adderley, along with Kathy Rigby-McCoy. Kathy, a galaxy of stars assembled here. People like Romania's Daniela Silivas and Svetlana Boginskaya of the Soviet Union. But the American women very well represented here also.
Well, they have performed exceptionally well. And considering over the past 18 years, there has only been 4 World Championship medals for the U.S. women, the fact that there are 3 Americans in the finals today gives them a chance to add even more and continue to establish themselves as world powers in women's gymnastics. Now, after a shaky start in the preliminary competition, Brandy Johnson has recaptured the confidence that made her unbeatable this last year and has given her a very realistic chance of medaling on the vault today.
Well, also working with us, the newest member of ABC Sports Broadcasting Team, Olympic champion Bart Connor. And Bart, a new set of rules being employed here at these World Championships.
And the new rules are making for a very exciting competition. Under the new rules, no scores carry over from the preliminary rounds, which means no matter how good a gymnast was in qualifying, they have to be brilliant today if they're going to win. The difference between the winners and losers, it's going to come down to thousandths of a point.
I think it's also interesting to note that of the 12 medals awarded in the 4 individual events at the Olympic Games in Seoul, Korea, the Soviets and Romanians won 10 of those medals. The top 8 qualifiers from the team competition, 2 per country, will compete in the uneven bars, vault, beam, and floor exercise. First up from the USA, 17-year-old Sandy Woolsey, who was a solid 8th in the all-around competition.
And Sandy has performed very well. It's a huge step to make it to the finals, and whether or not Sandy wins a medal, the confidence to know that you are in the same class with the rest of the world is a great big boost.
Sandy told us earlier that she aspires one day to be an astronaut.
Well, she's coached by Stormy Eaton, whose attitude in the gym is to have as much fun as you can while working hard, and Sandy attributes much of her success to that attitude. Double back. There's work to be done, but great spirit for the future.
This is the best part of the exercise. After the reverse hack, she does a transition to the lower bar. Notice she'll hop back to a handstand. This is an exceptional combination as she does a free hip with a half turn back to the high bar. Very good transition.
And Sandy, who finished 8th in the all-around competition, waiting for a score. There it is, 9.8. This is 17-year-old Fan Di from China.
The Chinese have been very impressive here. In fact, have made dramatic improvements since the Olympics. Now, if Fan Di hits this routine, she will be very tough to beat. Watch this. It's called a Jaeger, and one of the highest release moves I have ever seen. As Bart said in the beginning, you have to show the extra difficulty, and you have to do it with great flair. She swings with complete certainty and freedom, and she takes it right to the edge.
And Kathy, in addition to the outrageous release moves, notice the perfect form on this tuck double back. Her knees are locked together. That's the way you do it.
Well, 2 years ago, when she was just 15 years old, Fondee finished 20th in the all-around competition at the World Championships. She's a rising star, and look at this. A perfect 10 for Fondee of China. And that's going to be a fairly tough act for 17-year-old Christy Henrich of the United States to follow. That Christy is even competing at these World Championships is an amazing story. Last April, she fractured a vertebra in her neck in a practice session. When she came back to compete in the U.S. Championships, she finished second to Brandy Johnson. And earlier, Christy told us how the ordeal helped to make her a much better gymnast.
I think that it's made me tougher. You know, maybe some people it might make weaker, but if I can get through those low times, then it just makes me that much more ready to go. I'm just tougher.
4'11", 93 pounds, Christy Henrich. She is tough as nails.
And her coach, Al Fong, calls her E.T. for extra tough. Now, her style on the uneven bars differs from Fondee. She tends to move a little sharper, quicker in spurts. She pops from one bar to the other, and obviously she's very clean. Strong. Good pirouette on top of the bar. Excellent routine.
Christy finished 9th at the Olympic trials, just missing a spot on the U.S. team. But it is very apparent that she is a much improved gymnast. And there's Al Fong, her coach, to congratulate her.
She's very aggressive on the bars, and you can see in this combination she does a giant to a full turn, right to a double back. The judges award her bonus points for doing these moves back-to-back.
And I think Christy's going to like what she sees. 9.95. That puts her into second place behind Fondee of China.
ABC's Wide World of Sports continues with the Women's World Gymnastics Championships.
The individual apparatus is the uneven bars. This is Olga Strasheva of the Soviet Union, a bronze medalist in the all-around competition.
And she really has the most difficulty on this event with 3 major release moves. However, she doesn't have quite as clean a routine as Fondee, and throughout the competition, the judges seem to be giving the best marks to execution and form, more so than the big tricks, which is really important for the safety and direction of this sport. And that was a fabulous routine, and it's going to score very well. But at this level, the judges are going to look at these exercises as if they're under a microscope.
Kathy, as you mentioned, the judges are going to be very picky. Notice when she catches this release move, notice her legs flex just a little bit. That minor knee bend takes away from the total impression of the exercise. And really, at this level, it's the little things that make the difference.
Olga's mark short of perfect, 9.975, but good enough to move her into second place. Next up, the reigning women's all-around champion, Svetlana Boginskaya of the Soviet Union. And she won the title with performances like this one. A perfect 10 on the vault in the final rotation, breaking the heart of her arch-rival, Romania's Daniela Silovac, and bringing the all-around title back to the Soviet Union. But here she is now on the uneven bars.
And you would think those long arms and that long body would be a disadvantage on the uneven bars, but because the bars are now allowed to be so far apart, it gives her the freedom to swing through more easily, and it really accentuates her long lines. And she has a very difficult and energy-demanding dismount coming up. Right here. A big break.
We've come to expect perfection from Bogunskaya and are almost shocked when she's not. Fondi from China and Christy Henrich of the United States could be the beneficiaries of that mishap.
Let's see if we can see what happens after this gorgeous toe-on, toe-off. She's going to do a double back with a full twist. This is the most difficult dismount being done, and she's just short of rotation. She can't quite pull it around. That's a major deduction.
And a major deduction in women's gymnastics is 0.5 of a point.
So the most that Svetlana could earn for that performance would be a 9.5. Her mark, 9.45, and Christy Henrich of the United States senses that a medal is within her reach. Only one woman remains, Daniela Silovac of Romania. She's the only person who can knock Christy out of the top 3.
And Daniela's hungry for that title. Now, she really could be the queen of comebacks. After losing the Olympics and the European all-around titles, she came back to dominate the individual event finals. Having lost the all-around title here, she'd like to do the same thing.
At age 19, some people wonder how much longer Daniela plans to compete on the international circuit.
Her style is very similar to Christy's, and she performs almost exactly the same. It's going to be a tough decision by the judges.
Now, although Silovac didn't show the high-flying release moves that we saw from Fondi, where she gets her points is with these combinations here. Stalder, pirouette, there's the Delchev. That is a little low considering the world-class standards that Fondi and Bogunskaya showed. But once again, after she does a pirouette here, this is called a Stalder, and a full pirouette, these combinations will gain her bonus points.
But is her performance good enough in the eyes of the judges? A perfect 10 will tie her with Fondi. Anything better than 9.95 will knock Christy Henrich out of a medal.
Here's the mark, a perfect 10. Daniela has done it.
And Christy's saying it just isn't fair, and I think she knew as soon as she saw Silovac hit her dismount that she had lost the medal. Now, considering what we saw from Fondi on the uneven bar, Silovac was really given a generous score, at least the benefit of the doubt.
Well, Kathy, there's no question that having paid your dues in the sport of gymnastics counts for a lot when you get to the event finals.
So Fondi and Silovac take home the gold, and Donna Deverona is with Christy, who missed the bronze.
Christy, a fantastic performance on the unevens. Coming in here, I don't think anybody expected you to be that close. Maybe you did. And then it wound up, you're fourth by 25 1/1000ths of a point. So close.
Yes, it was. And I mean, I knew coming into this competition that it's going to be close. I mean, I don't care what event, all around. It's every little thing counts. I came to this competition wanting to do every little thing right because I knew it would be that close. But like you said, there's probably a lot of people that didn't know that I was going to do that perfect of a routine.
But you knew.
But I knew that I could get a 10-0. And one of the judges did give me a 10-0. And it makes me feel good to know that, at least in someone's eyes, it was a perfect routine.
So a solid effort for Christy Henrich and a performance that bodes well for her future. Coming up next, America's Brandy Johnson as our coverage of the World Gymnastics Championships continues. Welcome back to Stuttgart, West Germany, and more of the World Gymnastics Championships. The individual apparatus finals. The women's vault is underway, an event that will feature America's Brandy Johnson, but this is Romania's Cristina Bontas.
Now, the gymnast must perform 2 vaults from 2 different categories of style, and both scores count. Bontas received a 9.975 on her first vault, had a little hop there on her second vault, and it's somewhat more difficult for her because she does it less often in competition.
Now, this vault is called a cuervo. It's a handspring here, half turn, and then a piked back. Notice a little leg separation and sloppy on the landing. You got to stick the landings if you're going to win in vault finals.
The score for Christina's second vault, 9.925, for an average score of 9.950. Now, this is Alicia Dudnik of the Soviet Union.
And she's performing a double twisting Yurchenko. And it's very difficult to land that well when you're spinning so quickly.
Most of the world's best gymnasts are using this Yurchenko vault. Notice she does a round off before she gets to the board, a back handspring onto the horse. But what makes this vault so difficult is she cranks 2 twists before she lands.
And if Svetlana Bogunskaya is the reigning queen of Soviet gymnastics, Alicia is the heir apparent. And there it is, a perfect 10 for her first vault.
And what's so wonderful about Alicia is that she's beautiful to watch in the balance beam and the floor exercise, but she's also extremely powerful. Now, as I said before, the second vault tends to be a little more tentative because they performed it less often, but she doesn't have any trouble there on that handspring front tuck with a half twist.
Alicia needs a 9.912 to move into first place in front of Cristina Bontas of Romania. Just 4'11", 88 pounds, and what a contrast she is in body type to America's Brandy Johnson, who's a little more solid, more mature. In fact, Brandy reminds many people of another famous American gymnast. Here's Donna Deverona with more.
Comparisons between Brandy Johnson and retired Olympic gold medalist Mary Lou Retton are unavoidable. Two powerful and explosive athletes with the ability to handle pressure. Pressure at the international level is enormous, particularly so in the here-today, gone-tomorrow world of women's gymnastics. When she had to be, Mary Lou Retton was perfect. She knew how to turn the pressure of competition inward, to psych herself up and not out.
Brandy has won every major competition in the United States, and she is by far our, World Championship hopeful for a medal. But it's so difficult to stay on top for such a long time. In gymnastics, a woman's career is very short. You start at a very young age, maybe 6 or 7, and you relatively peak in your late teens, 16, 17, 18. Because after that time, your body's changing, Mother Nature's taking over, and you're turning into a woman. And really, psychologically, you're changing. Take a Christy Phillips, for instance. 1986, 87, she's on the cover of Sports Illustrated, the next Mary Lou. Incredible gymnast, the top in America at that time. And she hit it. She hit that growing spurt. She grew 5 inches. She gained about 10 pounds. And she looked normal.
That was the hardest time of my life. Not going on a strict diet, the pressures of dieting, the pressures of competing, the pressures of pleasing your parents, your coaches, the media, your fans, pleasing yourself, pleasing, all these people you got to please. And the pressures are so high. And then you got to be on the strict diet, and there's nothing you can really do to get it all off your mind. Other than going in and working and working and working, which gets more painful and more painful and more painful because you're starting to mature, and these things happen, and you just have to deal with them the best you can.
Christy missed the Seoul Games by a foot fault. The next Olympics are 2 years away, a lifetime for a maturing young girl.
As long as I keep my body, lean and as strong as I was when I was smaller, I really don't think it'll be a problem.
Two athletes with two very different endings to the same story. Both Mary Lou and Christy say they wouldn't change a thing. As for Brandy Johnson, her story is still unfolding, and that's exactly how she wants it.
I just love competition, and I think that's why I commit myself to the sport. And I don't know anything else. I know other sports and stuff, but this is what makes me happy.
And now Brandy is set to vault. Alicia Dudnik has moved into first place, so Brandy Johnson would need a pair of perfect 10s on each of her 2 vaults to win the gold medal.
And she's going to have to make up in height what Dudnik gave us in difficulty on this first vault. Very nice vault, not quite as high as Dudnik, however.
Now, this is a very nice-looking Yurchenko vault. Good position in the air. She only does 1 twist. Dudnik did 2, and, of course, Dudnik stuck the landing.
The score for that vault, 9.950, so the gold medal is out of reach for Brandy Johnson. Now she needs a 9.950 to tie Cristina Bontas for second.
She has an advantage on this second vault because she consistently uses it in competition. Remember, it's from a different category. A little hop on the landing, but a good vault.
And if Brandy's score is good enough to win a medal, that'll be the first time since 1981 that any American woman has won a medal at a World Championship.
The difficult part of this vault is keeping good leg form right there as her hands reach the horse. What power.
And now the nervous moment, Brandy waiting for her mark, slipping on her warm-up jacket. And there it is, 9.950. That ties her with Romania's Cristina Bontas. Brandy Johnson will take home a silver medal as Alicia Dudnik gets the gold. Here's Donna with Brandy.
Congratulations, Brandy. This is the first World Championship medal since 1981 when Julie McNamara and Tracy Talavera won bronze.
feel great. I'm proud to get a medal for the United States.
Well, I know for you, you felt it was a disappointment in the all-around. You finished 7th, your teammates finished 8th and 11th, and that's the best we've ever done in a World Championship. But was it kind of a little bit of a revenge here today in the vault?
A little bit, yeah. I wanted just to do the best I could, and I did.
Another shining moment for Brandy Johnson, and we'll return shortly with more of the World Gymnastics Championships. We're back in Stuttgart, West Germany with more of the World Gymnastics Championships, the individual apparatus finals. Next up, the women's balance beam, and on deck, Daniela Silovac of Romania. And let's go back to 1985 when Daniela won her very first world title at the age of 15. Kathy, she looked markedly different.
She sure did, and even at that tender age, you never felt she was intimidated by this apparatus.
And since that day in Montreal when she won her first title, Daniela has more than fulfilled her great promise and great potential.
And she begins with a beautiful mount, very original. And as I mentioned, she's always been aggressive on this apparatus. When most gymnasts tend to be cautious, she really goes for it. See the great concentration. There are her leap combination requirements. Now she was a little bit low on her back leg on that second leap. You always had this sense of lightness with Danielle on the balance beam. She works on her toes. That was the move that she had trouble on in the all-around. In fact, she fell on it in the all-around, and she performed it so easily here.
She's going after her second gold medal here in these individual apparatus finals, having won one in the uneven bars.
And so self-assured. See, she's preparing now for her dismount. She lines up with that beam. Double back. Excellent routine.
Going back to even 1976 with Nadia Comaneci, the Romanians continue to set the pace for the rest of the world on balance beam, not necessarily in terms of high level of difficulty, but in terms of consistency. This is a great angle to see right here how precarious the beam is, and you notice a little bit of a bobble, but no major break.
Daniela's score 9.95. At a world championship like this one, everybody is talented, so what separates a great performance from a good one? Here's Bart.
At the World Championship level, all of the top gymnasts have the necessary qualities to score well in competition. They have the difficulty, they have the combination requirements, and of course the execution. So what separates a good routine from a great routine? Well, all of the great gymnasts are going to have incredible flexibility. That flexibility doesn't come easy. The top flight gymnasts spend 30 to 40 hours a week training, and a considerable amount of that time is spent dedicated to gaining and maintaining this level of flexibility. But come competition time, it all pays off with elegant lines like these.
And this is 15-year-old Alicia Dudnik from the Soviet Union, who has already won a gold medal in the vault here at these World Championships.
Every now and then a gymnast comes along who really raises the quality of competition. Alicia does just that with the beauty and difficulty she displays on this event. And here's some of that difficulty. Aerial right into two back layouts. Very tough move to do. Tough combination. 3 split leaps in a row. Also a requirement. And a move coming up that at one time you would think impossible. A round-off backflip with a full twist. And she nails it. Remember, that balance beam is only 4 inches wide. One of the other requirements is that you work low to the balance beam. Now she's getting ready for her dismount. Triple twist. Big break there. What a disappointment.
And Kathy, what a shame. That was the most outrageous level of difficulty we've ever seen.
And because of that, I think the judges will be somewhat lenient.
One thing's for certain, she's only going to get better with more international competition. Olesia's score, 9.937. Underway now in the women's beam, and the leader at the moment, Romania's Daniela Silovash, who appears to be in some kind of discomfort. You saw her rubbing her right knee. We'll try to get word as to whether or not she has sustained an injury. Remember, she is scheduled to compete in the floor exercise as well. On the beam right now, however, is one of China's rising young stars, 15-year-old Yang Bo. She looks like a porcelain doll.
Well, she looks like that, but if she hits, she's going to leave you breathless. She is so exciting to watch. Look at the flexibility. And she has the most difficult combination tumbling run coming up right here. Let's watch. Back handspring, layout, full twisting straddle down, and she smiles at the end of it. There is seemingly nothing she can't do. As if she's just walking over. And look at the beautiful toe point. Another exceptionally difficult leap there.
Hard to believe this is her first major international competition.
And here's her dismount. Double tuck. Oh, my. These dismounts are just playing havoc with the gymnast.
And you could hear the collective awe from the crowd. They wanted Bo to do well.
You can possibly chalk it up to her inexperience in world competition.
Daniela Silovash has already won the gold medal in the balance beam, but obviously she's still in some kind of pain.
Now, this is without question the most difficult tumbling pass being done on balance beam in the world. That back handspring straddle down with a full twist, and look at the flexibility.
Yang Bo from China wows them in West Germany. Her score, 9.80. Good only for 7th place, but a memorable performance nonetheless. Daniela Silovash has won her second gold medal here in the individual apparatus finals. She may or may not get a chance to shoot for a third in the floor exercise, depending on the severity of her injury. Dudnik wins the silver, Podorak the bronze. We are ready for the women's floor exercise here in the individual apparatus finals. This is Cristina Bontas from Romania.
And few gymnasts have this level of difficulty on the floor exercise. She begins with a double layout. Her body has to remain straight while she rotates twice in the air. And here comes another impressive tumbling run. It's a combination tumbling run. She goes in one direction with a full-in double back, and she immediately turns around with great momentum. Breath before this last tumbling run. And she'll need lots of power for this last double tuck. So tiny and yet so powerful.
15-year-old Cristina Bontas of Romania, looking for a second medal here in the individual apparatus finals.
And certainly it's not the level of elegant dancing that you'll see from Boginskaya or Silivash, but what a tumbler. Her routine had 4 double backs in it.
Cristina awaiting her score. 9.962. Next up, Svetlana Boginskaya of the Soviet Union. She has already won the all-around title here in West Germany. She brings great individual style to her routines, and she told us earlier that you don't have to be a pixie to be a champion.
Previously, gymnastics was, how would you put it, backward, in that the great gymnasts were very small. Hopefully, my success will show that the main thing in gymnastics is beauty.
Svetlana brings a whole new look to floor exercise. She takes advantage of her relatively long body to accentuate the drama and the classic lines.
She's almost 5'4", which is giant for a gymnast.
You have to be very proficient in dance and drama to pull this off.
Nicely done. Svetlana Boginskaya with her own personal touch in the floor exercise.
When you combine the dramatic dance elements with tumbling like this, you certainly have a winner. This is a 1.5 through to a backflip with a double twist. Perfect form.
Perfect form and a perfect score. Svetlana Boginskaya duplicating the perfect floor exercise routine she turned in at the European Championships last May in Belgium. Accepting congratulations. And an extremely difficult act to follow, but if anyone is capable, certainly Romania's Daniela Silivash is. And she appears to have her leg problem solved. She's up and she's moving, limbering up a bit. She's up next in the floor exercise. The final woman in the floor exercise, Daniela Silivash, a little girl all grown up. We were introduced to Daniela in 1985 when she won her first world title on the balance beam. At the age of 15, she was very much a little girl, one who had been inspired to start gymnastics after seeing Nadia on television. By 1987, she had begun to mature and her reputation had begun to grow. While her best friend Aurelia Dobre was winning the all-around, Silivash added 2 more world titles to her collection. The 1988 Olympics provided the setting for her greatest victories and her most painful defeat. She won 3 gold medals in the individual finals, but lost the one she wanted most, the all-around, by the slimmest of margins. After another heartbreaking loss in the all-around here at the World Championships, her fate may be sealed to be the greatest gymnast in history never to win a world or an Olympic all-around title.
shows off her inner strength, it's this one. She seems to perform just because she loves it.
And there was some question whether or not she'd be able to compete in the floor exercise. Her coach found a piece of cartilage that had lodged underneath her kneecap, was able to massage it back into place. This is a very courageous performance by Daniela. Just a short while ago, she was in a great deal of pain.
You have to wonder how much more she can not only mentally, but physically endure. This is a sport that takes its toll over a period of time. And whether she competes again or not, the sport of gymnastics is much richer for the contribution she has made.
And even her rival, Alicia Dudnik of the Soviet Union, was impressed.
Silly Vosh has always had some of the most complex tumbling routines. But I think what she'll be most remembered for is her personality and her style. And she's been a very big inspiration to the younger gymnasts.
Daniela waiting for a score. And there it is, a perfect 10. If this is her final World Championship, what a way to go out. Her third gold medal here in these individual apparatus finals. She gets the gold along with Svetlana Boginskaya of the Soviet Union. Cristina Bontas of Romania wins the bronze. These World Championships have identified the new stars of international gymnastics while confirming the status of the old. Many of these athletes will reconvene in Indianapolis in 1991 for the next World Championships, which will be seen here on ABC Sports. That competition will set the stage for the 1992 Olympic Games and provide the Americans with the ideal setting to once again make their mark on international gymnastics, perhaps giving the powerful Romanian and Soviet women a new challenger. For Kathy Rigby-McCoy, Bart Connor, and Donna DeVerona, I'm Mike Adamle saying goodbye from Stuttgart.
After those championships in October, Brandy Johnson suffered torn ankle ligaments and has recently undergone tests for a kidney ailment. But she is now back training, the ankle is sound, and she's pointing toward the championships of the United States in June for her return.